vinyl fans, and welcome back to yet another episode of Let's Clean a Record. I'm your cleaning guy, and as you can see, we have before us all of the products from Last Factory that are designed to clean and preserve vinyl records. We've been utilizing these for some time, and we thought we'd dedicate today's episode to a roundup and kind of let you know what we think of each of those products. And there's one last test that we want to perform on one of them in particular, but I wanted to sum it all up for you since we feel we have enough experience to share this with you. Let's start with Last Factory's record cleaning machine fluid. This gets a thumbs up. It does an excellent job at cleaning records, particularly if you like to utilize isopropyl alcohol in that process. It's a pretty high percentage, about 20%. So if you're cleaning records that have a bit of mold on them, this is going to do a good job. I would not recommend it, however, as a pre-clean. You don't want to soak a record with that for any extended period of time. But if you're utilizing a suction type machine like a VPI, or even a string type machine like a Loracraft or a Keith Monk's, this is an excellent choice. So thumbs up on the record cleaning machine fluid. Next is the ever controversial preservative. Last preservative is intended to preserve the record, and the Last Factory itself has lots of evidence how over a long period of time it will prevent microfracturing. What we focused on is, does it make the record sound better? And we think it does. There's a lot of you fellows out there that disagree with that would say it makes no difference or it makes it sound worse. I was even told that perhaps our ears are deceiving us, so we wanted to keep an open mind, and we tried it a few more times where we thoroughly cleaned a record, listened to it, and then applied the last preservative treatment and listened again, and we kept hearing an improvement. We even went so far as to take a record that was previously treated with last, strip it off, which is not an easy process, listen to it, and then reapply it and listen to it again. We're drawing the same conclusion, fellas. We think last preservative improves the sound of the record, so big thumbs up on the preservative. Next is the all-purpose cleaner. This is really akin to using a dry fiber brush, a carbon fiber brush, or a Giotto blaster. In fact, I don't keep this anywhere near the record cleaning machines, but rather next to the turntables themselves. So why would you utilize it with this real small, dainty little brush? If you're in a dry environment or it's the winter time and you got a lot of static electricity in the air, this can do a better job than a dry brush. So that's what I utilize it for. It's not a required sort of thing. I would give it a mild thumbs up. It does what it's intended to do, and I like that. I break it out when it's real dry in the air. This is the power cleaner. We'll skip over that for a second. I also wanted to mention that Last makes a stylus cleaner, which we've used for many, many years, like it a lot. I will say this is a thumbs up kind of product, but if you haven't purchased a liquid stylus cleaner, I would probably go for Kermis. This one is very similar as far as the product is concerned and the job it does, but I really like the applicator on the Kermis. It almost looks like a mascara brush, kind of odd, but it does an excellent job cleaning the stylus and the cantilever. You only want to use this sparingly, though, not every time you clean the stylus. Lastly, we have the power cleaner. Now, this is intended for brand new records to remove any contaminants that remain after the stamping process, mold release compounds, or whatever the heck you want to call them. Now, we've tried this on several brand new records, and thus far we have not heard an improvement nor a detriment. Frankly, we have heard no difference whatsoever. But before we just say, we don't recommend the power cleaner, we're going to try it a little differently than what the manufacturer recommends. Last Factory suggests using their little brush for that process. Instead, we're going to put it on a VPI machine, break out the Ossange brush, and utilize the rest of this sample to really try to give it a more vigorous cleaning with the power cleaner. We'll see if that makes any difference. We have a couple of cool new records. If you saw our episode last time, we promised to open these up and give them a try with the power cleaner. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's get to it. Let's go clean these records with Last Factory's power cleaner. Okay, fellas, as I mentioned previously, the way we've been testing Last's power cleaner is to take a brand new record right out of the packaging, put it into the KL audio machine, give it an ultrasonic cycle and a drying cycle, and then utilize, per the manufacturer's instructions, the Last brush and apply the power cleaner to one side of the record. Then we listen to side 1 and side 2. And as I mentioned, thus far we have not been able to tell any difference between them. So today we're going to try a little bit different approach. Rather than utilizing the KL audio, we're going to utilize the VPI suction machine. I've got separate wands and columns, and we're going to utilize our Osage brushes, not the last brushes. These give a much deeper clean. We're probably going to use all the rest of this power cleaner sample. So on one side, we'll start with the power cleaner. We'll follow it up with a pure water rinse. On the other side, just a pure water rinse. And we'll see if we can tell any difference. We'll start off with this new record that I just picked up. I've been waiting to open this one just for this purpose. You guys know this? This is new to me, but I can't wait to give it a try. So let's get to it. Let's get this out of the packaging and give it a clean. Oh, look at that. It is 2 LPs. I didn't realize. I'll throw that away. Look at that. Pretty unique color, huh? We'll start with side A, and on that side we'll utilize the power cleaner. Power cleaner on, and once again, fully admit we are not following manufacturer's recommended instructions here. We're gonna try this a little different way and use a lot more of this product than last recommends. You would normally use 3, maybe 4 drops, but let's see how she does. Seeing a little bit of lather working up here. Nothing like you'd get with more straight ahead record cleaning fluid like L'Or de Sol or one of the AIVS products, but there's a little bit of sudsing action happening. That's a peculiar smell, but not one I would associate with alcohol. Not sure what it is. This is the same technique I would use with just about any record cleaning fluid, whether it had enzymes in it or not. Let's go ahead and take it off. Now, as I would do following any application of a record cleaner, of a liquid record cleaner, is follow it up with a pure water rinse, so we'll do just that. The water is beating up on this leads me to believe there's not a lot of surfactant in the power cleaner fluid. Given the way it's intended to be applied, that does not surprise me. So for this test, why don't we try just a pure water rinse on side B. Theoretically, that's one less cleaning process. It should sound better on side A, but again, we're dealing with a brand new record here, so that's what it's intended for, but Let's see how that does. So side B, pure water rinse only. Okay. This will be our first test, side A and side B. Tell you what though, let's try another approach with the other record that comes in this particular offering, side C and side D. So, just for the sake of varying our approach to testing out this power cleaner product, why don't we go back to what we did before and put the record into the KL audio machine so both sides are cleaned through an ultrasonic process. But then we'll put side, well in this case C, back onto the VPI and did what we just did with the side A on the record. That is, apply the last power cleaner and really agitate it well with the Osage brush and follow it up with a pure water rinse. That's a variable to see if we hear any difference. So let's give that a try. I think a 4-minute ultrasonic and 4-minute drying cycle should do the trick. Okay, we've just come out of the KL audio, so it's had a good ultrasonic cleaning. It's a brand new record, so it's going to be pretty clean after that, but to see if the power cleaner makes any difference, we will clean side C. We'll put it back on the VPI and clean it side C with a deep clean utilizing the Osage brush. Just make sure our brush is nice and clean. We are using way more of this product than is normally recommended. But that's the only way to scrub it up with a brush like the Osage. Let's go ahead and follow that up with a pure water rinse. Okay. We have our first two test cases ready to go. I propose that we open up the John Coltrane and try yet a different approach to see if we can hear any difference with the power cleaner. This time, we'll take out one of the records. We'll utilize the suction machine, the VPI, exclusively. On side A, we'll utilize the power cleaner. I think we still have a little bit left. And followed by pure water rinse. And on side B, we'll grab, let's go with L'Art du Son, one of our favorite go-tos, followed by pure water rinse. So kind of a standard record cleaning approach on a suction machine. And we'll see if we hear any difference between those two. So let's do that. I can't believe I don't have this record on the way. On impulse. Gatefold, they did a great job on this. Yep, this is just one record. For some reason I thought this was a double. It is not. The first side will always get the power cleaner. By the way, I'm still looking for the right rubberized mat to place on top of this cork mat so we aren't transferring any of that cork onto the vinyl. I haven't found the right one yet, so that's why I use the Giotto blaster to clear it off between sides. Some of you think that's less than an ideal, and I think I agree with you. Noticed not a lot of bubbles there, and when we go to side 2 and utilize a standard record cleaning fluid like L'Art du Son, you'll see way more bubble action will happen for sure. That doesn't mean this is an inferior approach though. We'll let our ears decide. Side 1 is done. Let's prep for side 2. And instead of power cleaner, let's go with L'Art du Son. A longtime favorite. Alrighty. That's 3 different approaches. Now, there's no way to do this test in a perfectly pure scientific manner, but I think these 3 different approaches should give us an indication if the power cleaner makes a difference. So let's get to it. We're going to listen to all 3 of these records and we'll report back on our findings. Okay, final thoughts and for the record. We just got done listening to our 6 album sides. Here's the rundown. If you recall on the first record, we applied the power cleaner to side 1 and just a pure water rinse to side 2. There was a difference, but it was very slight. There should be a difference with any record cleaning fluid applied to one side and not the other. However, it was extremely subtle. On the second disc, we put it into the KL Audio, cleaned both sides with the ultrasonic cleaner, and then applied power cleaner to just side 1. The results were pretty much identical to what we've been experiencing over the last couple of weeks. Not much of a difference at all. I frankly could not tell a difference between side 1 and side 2. And then on the third disc, if you recall, we cleaned side 1 with power cleaner, side 2 with a standard record cleaning fluid, one of our favorites, L'Art du Son. There I did hear a difference, a fairly significant one, and I much preferred side 2. There was a lower noise floor, there were fewer pops and ticks, all the reasons that we clean these records. So in conclusion, I have given everything I can to testing the power cleaner formula, and I'm really not hearing much of a difference. If I had to assign it a grade, it'd have to be a C. I don't see any detriment to it, but I'm struggling to find anything that enhances the listening experience. I have just enough of that product left to clean maybe 2 more records, so if you guys have any suggestions, I'd be willing to give it one more try. But as of now, my conclusion is to not recommend the power cleaner. To the other last products, however, there are some to recommend. The record cleaning machine fluid, I'm going to give that an A-, B+ at worst. I think it's a very good record cleaning machine fluid for a suction type or string type machine, particularly if you like to collect older records that might have some organic material on it. The only reason I don't rate it an A is I would say that having a separate enzymatic soak followed by a record cleaning fluid is probably a bit superior. But the RCM fluid from last is a good choice, particularly if you prefer to have isopropyl alcohol in your cleaning fluid. So call that one an A-. The preservative, A+. We've tried it many different times. As I said earlier, we think it enhances the experience, the listening experience, and to whatever extent it helps preserve the vinyl, that's just gravy. So big thumbs up on the preservative. The all-purpose cleaner, I like it very much. That's a solid B kind of product. I like to use it when there is a lot of static electricity in the air when it's dry, in lieu of a carbon fiber brush or a Giotto blaster. And then the stylus cleaner, good product. I do prefer the Kermis, but last stylus cleaner does a great job as well. So that is our review of all the products Last makes for cleaning records. They also, by the way, make products to clean tapes, which is pretty cool, but that's not our bailiwick. I did want to mention a few things about the records that we cleaned. This record from a musical perspective is nice. Is it a little bit of a novelty to have 2 bassists performing? Perhaps so. There are some tracks with bass and piano. They're very nicely done. These are world-class musicians, and the recording is of high quality. However, I have to give some feedback here to Mac Avenue Music Group. Both of these records were warped. The first one, almost severely warped. The second record was not only warped, but the spindle hole was well off center. You could see that the head of the tone arm going back and forth. So they've got some quality control concerns there. I'd be careful about that one. I'd be within my right to return this one, but we're going to save it for a future episode all about flattening records. So something to look forward to. The John Coltrane, on the other hand, is from Chad Kassem at Acoustic Sounds. Perfectly flat, perfectly centered, beautiful pressing of the highest quality from a sonic perspective, and of course it's John Coltrane at his peak, one would argue, so the music is absolutely out of this world. This one is highly recommended. Okay, fellas, we'll see you at the next record.